Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are decoding something absolutely wild. It's a highly intense, deeply psychological do-or-die framework called the Relentless 24-Hour Reset. Look, if you've ever felt like you're completely stuck in a rut, buried under endless distractions, or honestly just sleepwalking through life on autopilot, this intervention is designed to immediately snap you out of it. We are going to break down exactly how this demanding protocol works, pulling right from the source material to see how it claims to literally shift your life's trajectory in just a single day.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the entire Relentex system hinges on one incredibly radical claim. The traditional self-help space is always telling you, oh, you need 21 days to form a habit, or take 90 days to change your lifestyle, or go on some 7-day retreat. Well, the source completely rejects all of that. It argues you don't need more time, you need more truth. It says you need exactly 1 day, one single, defining decision where you finally stop lying to yourself and just do what needs to be done. And that brings us to the core ethos of this reset. As the source explicitly states, this isn't motivation, this is war. To truly grasp this concept, we have to look at it objectively, but with the raw energy it demands. This framework, it isn't designed to make you feel good. It's not looking to offer you comfort or a gentle pat on the back. It literally frames your internal struggles as a battleground, where you must aggressively fight for your own potential, rather than passively seeking the easy way out.
Because the stakes are so massive, here is our roadmap. We are going to explore this in a chronological, step-by-step breakdown, starting with the 24-hour reset promise, moving into radical self-confinement, confront and destroy, the warrior hour, and wrapping up with the 9 p.m. conclusion.
Phase 1, the 24-hour reset promise. Drowning in noise. This part really hooks you emotionally because the source makes a fascinating diagnosis of modern life. It says we aren't fundamentally broken, we are simply overstimulated and completely buried under noise.
Let's move to this and see how it builds. Because we are so overstimulated that our brains have no space to think or reflect, we use this visual roadmap of the entire 5-step timeline to fix it. We go from self-confinement to the mirror ritual, into destroy to rebuild, through the warrior hour, and finish with the 9 p.m. rule. Keeping this sequence in mind is crucial before we zoom right into the granular details.
Step 1, radical self-confinement, the mental detox. Now let's slow things down deliberately for a second. This step requires you to entirely shut off the outside world for 1 day. No phones, no internet, absolutely no distractions. You have to find total, radical silence.
Think about your own scrolling habits here. When you instinctively reach for your phone during a quiet moment, what are you actually doing? The framework hits us with a harsh assertion. You are not avoiding boredom, you are avoiding the truth. That constant stimulation is just a shield, keeping you from facing yourself. The absolute fastest way to find clarity is to cut the connection.
Once you have stripped away that noise, you enter step 2, the mirror ritual. This is where the uncomfortable stillness really sets in. The directive is simple, but man, it is difficult. Stand in front of a mirror, look directly into your own eyes, and hold that for 5 full minutes of absolute stillness. There's no background music to soften the mood, no positive affirmations. The entire objective is to forcefully stop performing for the world and get painfully honest with yourself. During those 5 minutes, you have to ask yourself one pivotal question. Who am I pretending to be? And you have to ask it for real. The source warns that when you do this genuinely, you're going to feel a literal sting in your chest. That visceral reaction is supposedly your real self finally waking up. It's the jarring realization that you've been putting on a performance, and today is the day you decide to drop the act. Step 3. Confront and destroy. The purge. All right, the energy ramps sharply back up here. This is an aggressive, action-oriented phase focused entirely on writing things down, only to violently rip them apart.
So the crucial point is that you physically grab a notebook and extract exactly 3 toxins from your mind. First, the habits actively killing your potential. Second, the places draining your power. And third, the lies you tell just to be accepted. You have to trap them on the paper. The goal isn't journaling, it's pulling the poison out of your head.
Once those elements are on the page, the directive is absolute. Tear it, burn it, rip it, shred it. You must physically destroy the paper. The source explains the profound psychological weight here. Destroying that paper sends a clear, undeniable message straight to your subconscious. It tells your brain that the old, performing version of you officially dies today.
Step 4. The warrior hour. The push. We're keeping that rapid, forceful pacing going. You set a hard 60-minute timer for a totally chaotic physical, mental, and spiritual gauntlet.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it perfectly slices this brutal hour into 3 structured 20-minute segments. The first 20 minutes, pure physical movement. Just push your physical limits. The second 20 minutes is a mental dump. You write everything you are feeling with zero filter and zero structure. Let the chaos pour out. Finally, the last 20 minutes are dedicated to pure, complete silence.
By surviving this specific sequence, transitioning intensely from pushing your physical limits to a filter-free mental dump, and then, finally, into profound stillness, the framework states you'll feel a massive internal shift. You transition away from anxiety and step firmly into a state of control, power, and overwhelming presence.
Step 5. The 9 p.m. conclusion. The resolution. Finally, we shift to a much more grounded, empowering tone. This is all about the quiet return to the mirror at the exact end of your 24 hours.
At exactly 9 p.m., all that frantic energy is gone. And here is the final directive. You are not allowed to question or critique yourself. You simply look at yourself and speak these exact words. Thank you for showing up. It's just a deep appreciation for having lived a single day without running and without hiding.
And that brings us to the core message of this entire explainer. The goal isn't perfection. It's not even necessarily measurable progress. It is just presence. The source ultimately claims that the trajectory of your life changes simply because you finally stopped pretending. You cleared the noise and just showed up as your actual self with full intensity.
As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this provocative final thought directly inspired by the source. Look, we consume tons of information, but information without action is just more noise. So looking ahead to tomorrow, the real question is, will you spend tomorrow performing for the world, or will you take one day, execute the reset, and finally stop pretending? The choice is entirely yours.